Here, let me just do this. Hi, how's it? Oops. My goodness, don't want to make anybody seasick, but let me straighten my thing here. Oh, for the love of Pete. I'm having a day, but we'll fix that in a minute because here we are. Whoa. Wait a minute now. Don't be hasty here. Sorry I'm late. The tree guy came. One of the tree guys came to give us an estimate, but looks like we've got ourselves our tree guy. There we go. Now, let me get to this video and pop out the chat over here so I can see it. All right. Wait a minute. Pop out the chat. Oh, well, let's do participants first. So everybody who needs to say hi right now so I can call out your name. All right. Participants. Oh, I hate this new format that my screen is on, or that YouTube is on for me. Seashell, Cindy's home. Diana Fernie. Aces, Gene Phillips. Hey, KB, Kathy, Kinner, Linda Bopp, Ruth Smith, Cheryl Brooks, and Teresa Pomerlo. And Cheryl Brook. I hope I got, oh shoot, here we go now. No, Bev, what did you do? No, I don't want to report. I want to see my chat. Where is my chat? No, I don't want to show more. Okay, friggin' dig. Hang on a second, folks. I don't know how to restore my chat. So I'm going to go out and come back in. That seems to work best. I'm sorry I'm late. It's just one of those days where nothing seems to be going right. And once we're here, though, things will go right, right? All my little guys, I tried to use that gluey stuff to put them on top of my monitor and all my skeletons and Santa Claus and reindeers, and started to dance, and they knocked themselves off the top of my monitor. Only the skeletons left, and he's on a precarious slant. So, all right, here we go. Let's do this, and let's go over to the chat and make it live chat, and then pop it out. There we go. Hey. So somebody sent me an email and I accidentally deleted it. Oh, and I better lighten up here. Lighten this. Hang on. Somebody sent me an email asking about the Seeds of Hope exchange. And I guess I got so used to everybody knowing how it worked that I forgot to tell folks how it worked. So, what the Seeds of Hope exchange is a greeting card exchange. And the Valentine's one is for the 14th of February. Now, how this works is, this is kind of, you email me at a specific email address. There's one for US, one for Canada, and one for Europe. And you email me at that address, wherever you're coming from, and say, I would like to be in the Seeds of Hope card exchange. Then you give me your name, your address, and not a name and an initial, but a name and at your address and your growing zone, if you can find it. And you just email that information to me. And on January 14th, which is quickly coming up in 6 days, this closes. And I start putting people in categories of Canadian, European, or American. And then you get 5 names and addresses of people with their growing zones, and you recycle your Christmas cards into Valentine cards. Even if you don't believe in Valentine's Day, just stick a heart on it or something to make them know that this is the seed exchange, okay? So we're going to recycle our Christmas cards into Valentine's cards, and you're going to commit to sending a packet of seeds to the 5 addresses you get, along with a card that says, your friend in Seeds of Hope, and your name. Quick, jot down your name. And then I go to the next person on the list and I give them 5 names. And you should get between 5 and 10 greeting cards with a packet of seeds for your growing zone in it. So if you don't have a garden or a patio garden or an herb garden or anything else, this is not for you. We're not going to say, can we send flowers? It's nice. You can send flowers, but this is basically for vegetable and herbs. Flowers can be a nice extra if you want to put it in. Like I've gotten some coleus or cosmos and some wildflower mix and stuff. So I appreciate that, but this is all about seeds. And what we do is we're making physical contact. It's like a chain letter, kind of, in a good way, right? There's no, it's just rude if you break it. Nothing bad's going to happen. You're just being rude, right? So don't join the Seeds of Hope card exchange unless, here goes the skeleton, unless you are willing to put, 5 cards, 5 packets of seeds, and in turn, you will receive from strangers. And these are all from people that we've met here, right? It's a physical way of getting to know each other and letting people know that we care. So this started out as a recipe greeting card exchange at Christmas. And then this year we did the Seeds of Hope, but I got really, really sick and I bungled some of the addresses while I was trying to do it because I was really, really sick the first week of November. But I got them out and I missed a few people and all that stuff. Hey, Stephen. So you're not putting in seed requests. You're just adding your growing zone to your address. And in turn, you commit to send out 5 cards and say, this is your friend so-and-so from Seeds of Hope. And you will probably get 5 to 8 greeting cards. Everybody will get like 5 to 8 cards because some overlap. And Americans will get within the list from America, and Canadians will get, people from Canada, and Europeans will get people from Europe. But there's not a lot of people in Europe, UK, on that list. So if you are okay sending one of your cards to the UK or Ireland or Australia or New Zealand, please write that at the bottom of your email. I have no problem sending seeds elsewhere, right? And then we recycle our Christmas cards. That's the only Christmas thing that hasn't been taken down in my snowflakes. Let's see, and we'll recycle our Christmas cards into Valentine cards. Hey, Danny love, my Danny love, I need you, oh, how I need your love. Sorry, I don't even know if you're a woman or a male or non-binary. It don't matter. That song popped right into my head. And my tea is very, very hot. How is everybody doing today? I'm going to pop behind my fan. It does not go with my outfit. So we'll pop behind this fan, which does. I'm weird. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear fancy clothes. I don't maximize my looks or anything, but I'm kind of weird about color. Unless I'm working in the garden. Hey, Miss Math Forever. How are you? Hey, Becky. How's it going? Give me a second, guys. Had a big argument in the truck with Briar about respect, but I'm doing good. After this, I'm probably going to go on live FaceTime with my grandbaby. She's a going. You okay, Becky? Doing great here, says Voodoo Kitchen Mom, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Well, you're welcome then, Danny Love. Danny Love. See? It just fits. You know what I mean? Nothing. It's not a big deal. We just, I had to remind him who his parents were for a minute, with his opinions, right? You can be a full-grown person, but you don't disrespect your parents, either one of them, in my presence. The car will get stopped. You will get booted out of my vehicle. You get one chance to backpedal. You know what I mean? I feel ashamed as all. I stopped drinking 2 years ago. I got drunk last night. Oh, Becky. Well, guess what? Are you drinking today? Can I ask, have you started drinking again today? Okay. Then today is a new day, fresh with no mistakes in it. Call your sponsor. Okay, because the longer and I'm really grateful that you said this out loud, so I can say, call your sponsor. We are only as sick as our secrets. So thank you for sharing. Okay. Doing great, just tired, been decluttering, not saving paper stuff. Well, Briar came and he washed my floors. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, Briar. He couldn't figure out when he cleaned all my cupboards, washed all my cupboards out and reorganized them. And what else did he do in the kitchen for me? He finished all the dishes and I've ordered a spray arm for my dishwasher. He finished the dishes, mopped the floor, like vacuumed and mopped all the floors throughout the upstairs here. And he cleaned my fridge and my cupboards. And I'll tell you what, 3 times I said, thank you, son. He said, Mom, you're paying me. I said, that doesn't mean I can't, that doesn't mean I don't get to show you appreciation verbally. I said, don't ever, I said, somebody does a good job, Briar. It's not just enough to get paid. They need to hear they've done a good job. You know what I mean? Hey, Stephen. So you're taking a break. Okay, I missed something here. What? Just unpacking boxes. So far, only 30 boxes so far today. How many more do you got to go? How many more? Was it you who tried to get a hold of me the other day, sweetheart? Stephen? So, I mean, okay, wait a second. Becky, yuck. Alcoholic. Are you an alcoholic? Because, I mean, I don't have a right to ask that, but you use the word alcoholic, but you don't say whether it's you or me, because I know I'm an alcoholic. Now, I have a lot of arguments over this because some people think I'm cured. And I said 250 boxes, and yes, oh my God, Stephen. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a lot. I have arguments with people about this because they say I'm no longer an alcoholic because I haven't had a drink in 25 plus years. But that's not true. With alcoholism, it is a disease. And there is only relapse and remission, always. I'm just in a state of remission. That's it. That's all. The moment alcohol passes my lips by my volition, then I am relapsed, period. No, I'm diagnosed with impulse problems. It could be anything. Well, you may want to go to the aa.org website and ask yourself the 20 questions, and You know, if you answer two more or more of them yes, then you may be an alcoholic. Impulse problems, alcoholism, addictive behavior, stimulus augmentism, they all run in the same gambit kind of thing, right? I'm just saying if you answer two or more questions, yes, you now have a support system called AA, right? So you are not your addiction, you are worthy, and your admission means that you are ready to receive help. Bev is right. Call your sponsor, and if you don't have one, get to an AA meeting. Amen. Right? It's just that simple. I mean, I met a lot of people in AA I didn't like. I met a lot of false people in AA. I met a lot of people who got sober on the first 3 steps and became self-proclaimed cured and went back out and drank. I am sober today because I went through a 28-week period with my sponsor and a group of women, and I worked through the entire big book and all of the steps and traditions and why we have them and what they mean. And I'll tell you something. The day you learn to be honest with yourself first is the day you can be honest with everybody else, even if it means closing your mouth and not saying anything at all. And you begin to see the deceit in other people. Things become much more clear. Sober means, son of a bitch, everything's real. Yeah. So alcohol is not necessarily the problem. Alcohol is used as a solution. I'm a binge drinker. I'm not saying I was. I'm saying I am a binge drinker. And Howard will allow me to say this. He was a daily drinker. And for the last year of his life, before he sobered up, he was either sober or not sober. He was either blind drunk or hungover, which means the alcohol never left his system, right? For an entire year. We are lucky to be alive, right? But it all starts with honesty first. You're not going to like everybody you meet in AA, but you are, if you go to enough speaker meetings, start with a speaker meeting, okay? Because they're open to everybody and you can go in and you can listen. I guarantee you go to at least 6 speaker meetings in a 30-day period, you're going to find somebody's story that resonates with you. And when I say resonates, I mean go, holy shit. Strumming my pain with his fingers. You know what I mean? Singing it softly in his song, killing me softly because it resonated. Right? So I'm just saying, be open to it, but you got to be honest with you first. You can be diagnosed with impulse disorder, but that's just, I could be diagnosed with impulse disorder. I could have been a hoarder. Hey, Howie. I could have been a hoarder. But I learned to purge every couple of years because the closest I get to hoarding is this office. Right, dear? You all right? Okay. So did you figure out when he just going to come back whenever he thinks of it? And
I left that up between you and him.
Okay, well, you need to put a big, bright orange X on the trees we want taken down. I got a tree guy.
We're going to move. We will.
What's that?
When we decide we're going to do it, we will.
Okay, sweetie. What you doing out in the shop? I thought you didn't have anything to work on until your wires came.
I have about 150 hours worth of work on Jim's car to do, and I just finished getting my wall up.
Oh, good. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You got your puffer?
Don't need it.
Okay. All right, we need some firewood, though.
Brought some in.
Awesome. God, I love you. So, well, I'm out to collect eggs. Y'all have an amazing day. Bye. Okay. It's supposed to be anonymous. In other words, it's so that when you're in, like, for instance, okay, I met a guy in a local meeting in Wakefield who was a member, and he was only there to get his parole officer card ticked, kind of like a card ticked. Do you remember him, dear? Anyway, he had to get somebody in the meeting to say, yeah, he was here the whole time, right? One day I'm sitting with my neighbor across the street because I lived in Wakefield, and he knocked on the door and walked in. And he asked my neighbor how he could get in touch with her son for a job because her son's a general contractor and this guy apparently is an electrician. And she said, I have no, she said, I don't deal with his business and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, yeah, and this woman knew no bounds too. And she said, have you quit drinking? She came right out and said it. And he said, ask her. She's been in the meetings with me. And I looked at, I said, I have no opinion on this issue. I don't know this man. Because you're not allowed to call out people outside the walls of the meeting. He basically told her that I was an alcoholic sitting in an AA meeting. He had no right to do that. I didn't care at that point because Josie already knew, right? She knew where I went on Friday nights, right? So, that, or was it Wednesday nights? Was it Wednesday nights we had our meetings? I think it was Wednesday nights. Anyway, the meetings here in Low were on Friday nights. But the point is, anonymity means you don't pull AA out as a membership card of your character. You don't call other people out. That's what we mean by anonymous, right? What you see here, the whole thing in AA is what you see here, what you hear here, let it stay here when you leave here. That's why people are, new folks who just want to know what it's all about, just go to the speaker meetings. They'll get greeted at the door and, and then they can sit in the back and listen, but just do it. You know what I mean? Hey, Teflon! And all of their stigma crap is everywhere. It doesn't help anyone get relief from their issues. Well, that's right. He broke my anonymity. But the thing is, we worked really, really, really hard. And I, to this day, work really hard at my program of recovery. What is my program of recovery? Judge not. Be as honest with myself as I am with everybody else. And I'm really, it's really hard to be honest with yourself, right? But if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with everybody else. And that's where love and decency and respect and knowing right from wrong and all those things come from love and honesty, right? I wasn't keeping up with what needed to be done, and I was dreaming of having a mini homestead, and there is no way I could do it being a drunk. Well, depends if you're a sober one or not, right? I mean, homesteading's not for pussies. I'm not kidding. Why don't we keep animals anymore? Because they're a lot of work and responsibility, and you're married to the land because you got animals to look after. The closest we can come to it now is maybe we can get some chickens and a couple of turkeys this year. If we ever had to, we could do a pig or something, raise something in season for meat. Buy the piglet, raise it, butcher it. But we will never overwinter animals again. That's why I'll never have laying hens. Unless I buy them already laying, but by the time fall comes, and they're just getting started, and you're butchering them for soup. You know what I mean? Hey, Tanya, Teflon. Laura, we go to meetings occasionally. Yes, we do. But do we belong to a meeting anymore? No. We used to run them. Like, no, I don't mean it that way. I mean, we have done our time, so to speak. We did a lot of work. The first 15 years of our sobriety was meetings minimum once a week. And then we got involved in service, and we're still of service. We're always here if anybody reaches out the hand for help, like I just did. Someone, maybe you didn't reach out your hand for help, but I saw an opportunity and planted a seed. That's part of who I am. That's part of my recovery. That's a meeting. These are meetings for me most of the time. Why? Because sometimes I talk about stuff that, is getting on to me. But mostly patrons and I talk about that. I want chickens so bad again. I miss the fresh eggs. In another year or so, if we haven't got any laying hens, I will be dreaming about them. I dream about them. Oh no, I forgot to water my eggs or my hens and collect the eggs. And I go out to dead chickens and smashed eggs. It's horrible. I love laying hens. But those things you have to overwinter, and those things you can't leave for more than a weekend at a time. Chickens and turkeys, as long as they got enough food and water, they're fine. But eggs have to be collected every couple of days, at the very least. Yeah, I hear you, Miss Math. Way you go. Take care. Mwah. I have an opioid addiction due to my pain. I will be checking myself in for addiction treatment next week. I've been planning this for a while. Well, there is NA as well, eh? Well, for when you come out, that's a support system for you right there, because they're like AA, but only with drugs, right? I mean, there's people in the AA program. This is one of the reasons I don't go too often. There's people in the AA program that have a problem that I medicate with marijuana. And people think, yeah, she does Freaky Friday and gets stoned and everything. Well, Fridays is when I actually really relax, because I'm going to be able to my days are my own for the next 2 days to get either work done or editing done, or I can sleep in. I'm not getting up at 5. So what if I'm medicating heavier and enjoying it? Oh, that's a crime. But I mean, this one that I'm been puffing on right now is the first one I've had in 2 days. Why? Because I had to be available to drive, because I got busy, because it doesn't matter, but it's good because, now it's working better. You take tolerance breaks. You take care, Tammy. And go in for treatment, but don't ever think you're cured. Please, before you go in, get some names in NA. If you haven't checked in, maybe you want to check out an open NA meeting while you wait for your placement. That's always good. Hey, Dreama. As always, we keep you all in our prayers. You notice when I pray, addicted, neglected, rejected, that word addicted's in there for a reason, because it is a disease. It's a disease. It's a physical allergy, right? I have tolerance levels. I put vanilla in my cake because it bakes off. Most artificial vanilla's got, is alcohol based and stuff like that. I've made oil. Did not like the smell of the bottle when I opened it to make my medicated oil. No, I'm still here, Sherry. But I mean, to me, my medication is herbal and organic. Yes, I have mood disorder meds. Yes, I have sleep meds and muscle relaxers. But those all leave me incapable of functioning properly during the day. I take those at night. But during the day, I can take a puff or two and function, as long as I'm not driving. Right? Today I had to drive. Right? I thought I was going to have to drive yesterday, but Briar decided to stay overnight again, and for me to take him home in the morning. And so that's what we did. But by the time I sat down to watch TV, I forgot where I had laid the freshly rolled medication, and I said, piss on, and it's this close to bed anyway. I might as well just, leave it till tomorrow. And then I had to drive them today. So my season is quite short, and once most of my tomatoes start turning, the weather does also. Have you figured out? I got those Manitoba tomatoes from M.I. Gardner this year after you suggested it. Yeah, they're a good tomato. They are a really good tomato. So is everybody clear on how the card works? Or the seed exchange works? I will put, give me a second, and I will put the email addresses up here for you. Okay, first things first. Let's go to here. All right, now let's go here. Okay, this is what is this called? Hang on, guys. Sorry, I gotta dip you down a little bit here so I can see what I'm looking at here. All right. seedsofUSA@gmail.com. Hang on a second. This is for the American Seed Exchange. Okay. Thank you, Sherry Leach. Give me a second, and I don't do cards on Sunday. Okay, the next one is CADSOH. CADSOH@gmail.com. Obviously, this is the Canadian one. And the European one is SHOE5. Okay, whoops. Did I say that? I'm dyslexic, by the way, eh? So I always have to double check. Where are you? Where'd you go? Here we go. SOH. SOHEUR5@gmail.com. This is basically everybody else. Australia, New Zealand, the UK. And what you do is you email me there. Excuse me, hang on. Okay? So if you're American, you use the American email address. If you're Canadian, you use the Canadian email address. If you're European, or UK or British or whatever, you use that email address. And I've only gotten one person from Europe so far. So what you do is you email me at the address, your address, specific address for your continent or country, right? You give me your name, just put card exchange or seed exchange, Seeds of Hope across the top. You recycle a Christmas card and make it a Valentine's Day card or any kind of card. You recycle a Christmas card and you put on it a little note that says, from your friend so-and-so, like Bev, in the Seeds of Hope exchange. And you put in a packet of seeds and you send it. So you put your name, your address, and your growing zone. And then you commit to mailing 5 of these recycled cards out to 5 people on a list I will give you. That will give you their name, their address, their growing zone. Yes, most of us are complete strangers, but the truth is, this is our community, and it's a community thing, right? So the cutoff date to give me your name, your address, and your growing zone is January 14th, 6 days from now. Hang on a second. Thank you so much, Sherry. That was very sweet of you. Now let me pop the chat out so I can see it better. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. If I enter this, does Google get my address? I really don't feel comfortable giving Google my address. No, you're giving it to me. I'm not sharing it with anybody else but the other people on the list. That's why I don't ask for it any other way. I asked, the last one I did at Christmas was, I said, everybody send it to connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. And then I had a problem sorting people out. Then I got sick when it came time to mail everything out. It was really a debacle, right? But what you will get is you will get a list of 5 names in your country or your continent. Like if you're American, you'll get 5 American. If you're Canadian, you'll get 5 Canadian. If you're on the European exchange, you may get somebody from New Zealand, and you may be in the UK or whatever. But you need to commit to mailing out 5 cards with 5 packets of seeds saying from your friend Bev or whatever your name is in the Seeds of Hope exchange. And then you'll get 5 to 8 cards. If everybody, I can't stand it when somebody commits to something and then doesn't do it, because then people lose out. That's why I've taken such great care and spent an entire half a day arranging 3 specific email addresses for this. These are only for the seed exchange, not getting a hold of me for anything else. Okay? And then the cutoff date is the 14th of January, which is next Saturday. And then between January 14th and then the January 21st, I will go through all the names. I will give everybody their addresses. And hopefully by February 14th, everybody will be receiving recycled Christmas cards saying, hi from your friend in the Seeds of Hope exchange, right? This is a physical contact that our community can do. And this is supporting each other, right? Growing zones, it's not necessarily important, but it helps people decide. Like you're not going to send somebody, okra seeds who lives in Alaska. It's not warm enough. You know what I mean? I think, or something like that, right? So, can these be saved heirloom seeds and our own herbs from the garden with made-up labels and information about the plant? Absolutely. As long as you know that the seed is a true seed. For instance, last year I couldn't have given anybody any seeds because even though I grew nice zucchinis and I grew nice spaghetti squash, they cross-pollinated, right? And so any seeds I would have saved from the spaghetti squash or the zucchinis would have been some weird hybrid. You'd never know what you get. Same with my tomatoes. The year before, I planted 1 brandywine plant and 8 Manitoba tomatoes. Well, this year, when I tried these new subarctic plenties, they're like that big. They're not much bigger than a cherry tomato. But the ones that I had harvested that I had labeled Manitoba tomatoes were a cross with the brandywines, and I didn't get the early harvest, and I got a mid-sized tomato. So it was like a crapshoot. So if you're going to send seeds that you have harvested, make sure that they are the true seed you're talking about, because we're talking about growing zones, right? I can't grow beefsteak tomatoes here. I can get a couple, right? But if I grow them, all the tomatoes that I'm growing for canning, I won't be able to save the seeds from and use them next year. Seashell, if you want to know your growing zone, you just go on to Google or whatever search engine you use, and you put in what's my growing zone, and they'll give you a map, and then you'll figure it out. What's my growing zone for, say, Tennessee, and they'll show you a growing zone map for Tennessee, and then you figure out where you are in it, and the color tells you what you are, 4A, 4B, 610, you know what I mean? That's right. Google the growing location. Right. Know what you're sending. But yeah, you can share seeds for sure. Like this year, I'm not growing any squash except zucchini because I just found I love zucchini. I'm going to have to get a spiral cutter thing for noodles because I like those better than pasta. Wish I had some right now. But I'm not, it's the only squash I'm growing. So any seeds, I'll leave one zucchini go till it's so. Howie, what are you doing? Oh, okay. I heard a banging. One zucchini, and I'll just let it go until it's damn near splitting. And that's when I'll save those seeds. Don't save them any earlier than that. They've got to be mature enough to grow. I love zucchini. It is so versatile. I never used to grow. It's like, you can only eat so much zucchini bread. Well, I have found out how much zucchini I eat. And Howie's like, what's this stuff? I said, zucchini. He said, well, don't cut it so big next time. Okay. You know what I mean? It does help stretch other food out. And you know, my spaghetti squash, I have spaghetti squash powder. And it's awesome. You put that into a sauce that's not thick enough. It's got no taste. The same would be for like shredded, like dehydrated zucchini and ground to powder. It's like vegetable powders are awesome thickeners. I am out. I have 1 teaspoon left of tomato powder. Hey, Kingdom Artist, how's it going? Starfrit has spiraling thingy, cheap, works well. I'm just so tired of gadgets, though, right? I mean, if I get a whack of zucchini, then I'll pull out the KitchenAid or something. But, I mean, for the amount that I get for noodles, it's... I just had an idea. Never mind. Those trees you are having cut down, will you be able to use them for your wood stove? Most of them, yeah. Some of them are spruce, and it's like kindle. It burns fast as kindling. Spruce does, and there's a lot of gum. It gums up your chimney a lot. So softwoods are not the best woods. We use them. We save them. We have a big pile from, I don't know, 10 years ago. That's been just sitting there of spruce logs but we haven't had a bonfire in a long time. You know what I mean? Hey, Julie, I mean, French apple cake. Ooh, that sounds delicious. But most of the wood, like I'm having some maples taken down, a couple of dead spruce, but mostly birch, poplar, and basswood. There's birch, poplar, and maple it makes up 75% of that wood. And the amount of trees we're having taken down, we should have firewood. Like once it comes, he's going to come and start dropping them this week, I guess. And whenever he, gets a nice day, he'll come out and drop them all. And then, I don't know if he's going to cut them up or what he's going to do, but I want the brush piled at the back of my driveway. Because this isn't a guy who does all service. He's just going to cut the trees down and cut them up and take the brush off the stuff. So the brush pile is going to go by the back of the driveway where the ravine is. And then I'm going to rent a wood chipper. And anything that is usable as mulch for the garden, I will save. But I won't, any spruce stuff is not good mulch for the garden. It's too acidic. So I found that out the hard way. Killed a whole bunch of potato plants with too much spruce mulch. Spruce branch mulch. Put a little garlic powder on them and toss them in the dehydrator. Yeah, but how thin do you cut them, Angela? I bought some lids for 4 jars right before the Black Friday deal, so I missed out, but I would have paid full price any other day anyways. There you go. They sent me a lovely box of chocolates and a can of green black tea mix and 2 tea towels. And since somebody else sent me 2 tea towels, I may give those away. And my own giveaway. We'll see. Hi, Delphia. How's it going? Bev, if you buy 4 jars lids, can I have them sent to my American friends for her birthday? Sweetheart, it's an American company. They don't ship to Canada unless you win it. Like, they allow the Canadians into the giveaways, but they don't normally ship to Canada. They're actually going into lids and jar, not just lids, but rings and jars soon too. You can order, yeah, but you can order 4 jars lids and just put the shipping address as different, and have it shipped directly to them. Yeah, is that what you're asking? I'm pretty sure you can have it shipped somewhere else. Unless the shipping goes by where you might have to contact them and say, okay, I want these somewhere else. They'll calculate. No, they can calculate shipping. As soon as you put the shipping address, the shipping will be calculated, right? But 1/4 inch. Because I sliced them really thin once and they were like tissue, right? Okay, good. Thank you, Willows. Thank you for answering that. They are an awesome company. And they are looking at having manufacturing done in the US, which is really awesome. A bag of chips sitting here. Manners. Oops. So, we all clear on the greeting card exchange. Cutoff dates, January 14th. I have to get off here shortly because I have some editing to do. And Howie took a big thick steak out well, it's not big, it's about that big around, but it's about that thick. Please tell me about the cloud behind you on the ceiling. Well, that is LED. Let's hope my remote works here. That is, where's the fade button? I bought batteries. I haven't replaced them yet. That is LED light strips that are plugged into the wall and pillow stuffing. Pretty much it. Just zigzagged LED lights and put pillow stuffing up there. The only confirmation email you're going to get is because I'm saving them. Because once I reply to you, that's when you're getting your addresses. So there will not be a confirmation email. There will only be you getting your list after the 14th. Right? Because once I start replying to the emails, then I have to actually look the emails up when it comes time to do the exchange. I would rather just do that once. Does that make sense? You're welcome, Grandma Gina. It's a question I get often. I'm actually thinking of doing the whole ceiling at that end because I have more LED lights downstairs, but I don't know if I can get them off the wall without breaking them or off the ceiling without breaking them. So anyway, let's have a prayer, shall we? This isn't for everybody. Not everybody, is into sharing their spiritual awareness or their faith or anything else. This is non-denominational. This is between you and your higher power or your faith. And this is between me and my higher power and my faith. What we share is the love and light that our Creator gives us. We share that. Everything else is just details, right? So if you don't want to stay, there's no judgment. That's not a big deal. Not everybody prays the same way, and not everybody can listen, you know what I mean, to somebody else outside their regime kind of thing. So no judgment, no harm, no foul. Everybody else, let's take some deep breaths. I actually have a video of it on this channel when I did it downstairs. Excuse me. Are you cooking tonight? Or am I? Okay. Okay, darling. Hey, God, creator and source of everything and all. How's it going? I had a bit of a rough patch with my son today, God. I'm sure you were listening in on that one. I have a lot to learn about controlling my emotions. My son has a lot to learn about respect. And I thank you for letting me be loving and calm after the fact. Just thank you, God. Nobody died, and relationships may have been banged, but not permanent. God, I'm sending out prayers to my cousin Kathy, who lost her daughter suddenly last week, this week. She's had a rough road, God. She lost her son, both her parents, and now one of her children. You know, I ask that you lift her up. I ask you we lift up all our friends and family who are suffering from addiction, somebody else's addiction, um, illness, rejection, loneliness, all those things that keep people coming back to you, God, even when the times are good. Because if we're not asking for help, we're thanking you for the help you're giving us. And it's such a simple thing, isn't it, God? Our communication. Lift up all our friends who are needing the extra strength that your love can lift them up on. Keep them putting one foot in front of the other, God. And if they're having a hard time, then let our light that you give us every day part the way for them as they go forward with their struggles. Please, God, keep me honest, keep me open, keep me aware. And thank you, God, for all my friends that have come here to share their light and their love with us. We may be online, but we're still a community. We're still a family. Thank you, God, for that. And we remember to count our blessings, God, because when you're counting your blessings, it's kind of hard to be negative. So thank you for that. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Blessed be, Miigwech. Walk in the enlightening love of God, or in the love of God's light, or the light of God's love, whatever language you use to talk to your faith. You know, it's always about the love, isn't it? Take care. God bless. I'll see you guys Thursday. Mwah! Unless I come on in between. I love you guys. Have a great Sunday.